Ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-da. These are the people in the neighborhood. The YouTube tabletop role-playing game neighborhood. The people that you meet when you're trying to do something neat. It's Saturday and Saturday shoutouts. Let's raid! Yes, it's 8 o'clock in the morning on the dot, my nerds. It is I, the dulcet voice, your guide to all the tabletop role-playing game news, weather, and general internet nonsense that is the OGGM, broadcasting live from Site B on the 4th day of April. It is, of course, Star Wars Day. It is another gloomy spring day here at Site B, and it's Saturday. On Saturday, we do what's known as a raid. We wander around the YouTube tabletop role-playing game community and look for channels that are new to us or old to us, that are offering new and different tabletop role-playing game things, and try and give them a shout out, try and draw attention to them, try and do something nice. You know, Monday through Friday, I'm a freaking asshole. Saturday, I want to do something nice. I want to reach out to other YouTube channels and say, hey, check these guys out. Maybe they've got something to offer that you're cool with and you want to follow them. And in return, maybe some of these channels will come over to here, our channel, and subscribe, because at the end of the day, I'm also a selfish shill who wants to reach 2001 subs by August 4th. So yeah, let's take a walk. And first off, technically not a tabletop role-playing game, but still pretty freaking cool. First time checking them out yesterday. Comic Shop Talk Issue. My friend Ironcaster told me about this. I got a chance to sit in with them. And they had as a special guest the Soska sisters, the Terrpor Twins, Canadian twins who have written, directed, produced, starred in a ton of horror movies, action films. They've written comic books. They've got a brand new comic book coming out through the Ripperverse. They are video game nerds, comic book nerds, horror nerds, maybe even D&D nerds. I don't know. They're Canadian, so they sat in for almost 3 hours to talk with the 33 flavors of Neckwiser. There's my friend Ironcaster. I don't know who any of these guys are. That's Nick Weiser down there. I don't know who this guy is. I think his name is Andrew, but I'm not sure. And they're the Terror Twins, the Soskas. I've been a fan of theirs since American Mary. So that's going back to, 15, 20 years. And of course, they're Hellvader, their interesting game show, Dead Sex Worker in a Trunk, their very first production, which nobody's ever seen, a lot of their other stuff, their stuff they did with WWE, the comic book run on Black Widow. They just seem like two awesome young ladies, and got to listen to them talk for about an hour, and they're just so cool, so foul-mouthed, so awesome, just such big, shiny nerds. It was really refreshing to get to hear them talk. They're the kind of people, you wish I was like, man, I wish I was friends with these guys. Nothing like trying to be sexual, because we know I'm not interested in sex. But just, they seem like two awesome people to hang out with. And I'd be like, they're the kind of people who'd be like, hey, let's go to a haunted house. And I'd be like, awesome. Let's play Sega for 6 hours. And I'd be like, awesome. So yeah, if I lived in Canada and in a different life, I'd love to be friends with them. They seem just really awesome and generous and nice and cool, and just unbelievable knowledge about comic books. So thank you, Neckwiser, for inviting me. Thank you, Soska Twins, for taking time out to giggle with a bunch of geeks for 3 hours. It was an often conversation, and I was glad to lurk at it. And of course, Neckwiser has 1,095K subs. He's been doing this for a while. Let's give him a sub. I'm not a comic book guy. I used to be a comic book guy, but they just got too expensive, and there's always too many. And, they constantly kept trying to restart the franchises. And after a while, you're just like, okay, I'm done. So yeah, I haven't read a comic book in a long time. I don't even know if I know how to read anymore. There are some comic book series I would love to finish my collection of. But yeah, mostly not a comic book dude anymore. But yeah. So check them out. Maybe 1,955 of their subs will go over to our channel. Who knows? Maybe even the Soska Twins will pay us a visit. Doubtful, but I like to dream. Next up, We have got cooperative waffles. Cooperative waffles. Waffles, 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 waffles. Waffle. Bam, bam, bam. +5 experience points if you know where that song's from. Cooperative Waffles has made tons of comments on my tubes over the last year or so. I'm surprised I haven't called them out sooner. They're a waffle. And we know I'm waffle. So they do recordings of, looks like playthroughs that they've done. Pathfinder 2nd Edition live play, Pathfinder 2nd Edition Abominations live play. So they do live plays. They have got 38 subs. They've made 125 videos. Let's pay them a visit. You know, who knows? I mean, their live plays can't be any worse than Critical Role, and they're probably better because they're actually playing instead of, you know, Critical Role. And it's Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It's Abomination Vaults. It's so, yeah, it just sounds cool. Always, and they're playing around on, I don't know, what is that? It doesn't look like Roll20 that they're using there. I don't.
All right.
Know you were held in that burp.
This might be the Dream Portal thingy.
Disgusting man.
The Pathfinder exclusive one. Dreamscape, Dreamworld, Dream Portal. I don't know. Pathfinder has their own version of a VTT / D&D Beyond thing. Pathfinder Infinite. If I was smart, I would know the name, but I'm not. But yeah, look, this looks cool. Whatever it is, definitely better than Roll20. But then I'm also a little prejudiced against Roll20 because it's just so bloody clunky. So yeah, he's got 39 videos. They've posted on my YouTube tons of times. So let's give this guy a shout out. Let's go visit his channel. Let's subscribe, help him hit a couple hundred. And who knows, maybe his 39 subs will come over and visit us because, again, I am a shill. Another one we have today is Tabletop Junkie Games. Tabletop Junkie Games had a chance to talk to him the other day when I was visiting with Ironcaster on his Mech Pick chap. And he's a guy who likes games. Specifically, it looks like he's doing Castles and Crusades. He's doing In the Hall of the Hobgoblin Session 5. I recently also did a live play of Atomic Punk by my friend Basic Expert. So he does a lot of role play, a lot of live play, it looks like. He's got 218 subs, 361 videos. So shout out to Tabletop Junkie. If you've got some free time and want to check out some live plays of Castles and Crusades and other games, head on over to his channel and check him out. He's also on Twitter. And they're playing Castles and Crusades, you know. My recent experience with Castles and Crusades was not pleasant, but I still like the system. If I was going to play a retro D20 OD&D game, Castles and Crusades probably would my go-to system. I don't know if I'll ever be invited to run or play a Castles and Crusades game again. Never will play a Castles and Crusades Bard again. That's for frickin' sure, unless it's a city campaign, like I was lied to. But I'm not bitter, and that's a story for another time. So yeah, here we go. Here's a dude. He's got a cool channel. They're doing live plays. Check him out. Help him hit 100 subs, and maybe some of his subs come our way, and we can share the love. Share the love, you know, as they call. So we got another one. This is a brand new one. They haven't been doing this very long. This one got shouted out to me by a fellow YouTuber. This is Tales from the Glass Guarded World podcast. Give this guy a subscribe. They've only got 95 subs. They've made 308 videos. They look like they're doing live plays, actual plays of 5e. That's a Glass Guarded World. That's just an awesome name. I don't know what it means. It tells the story of an adventures on a flat world living inside a giant glass container that is slowly overheating. Oh, okay. So it's a world that's been captured by Brainiac and put in one of Brainiac's little glass bottles, and they've got to survive in this world that's inside this giant glass bottle. Maybe try and figure out how to get out of the glass bottle. but also, the world's overheating because they're inside this giant glass bottle. I like that idea. It's pretty cool. I mean, maybe it's not Brainiac, but you think, the first thing you think when you think city trapped inside a bottle, if you're a comic book geek, you think Brainiac. You think Brainiac and Kandor. So cool. It doesn't look like he's been doing this very long, but they've got their own channel. Looks like they're trying to move their own product. Sounds like a cool setting for an alternate take on 5e. 5e, maybe deserves some new love. I don't know. 95 subs. We can help this guy get up to 100, right? So if you've got a chance to head on over to their channel, give them a sub, check out their stuff. It should be awesome. All right. There we go. And last but not least, as you guys know, the original idea for this I stole from one of my favorite VSojo VTubers, Iron Mouse, one of my internet heroes. Big fan of Iron Mouse and her struggle and her content and her life. So that's where I got the idea from. I know a certain individual is trying to convince people that I stole the idea from them, but no, because that certain individual is a motherfucking Mark who is an idiot. So yeah, I don't follow his shit, but I know he's trying to say that I stole this idea from him. No, I stole this idea from Mouse. So in honor of the idea of doing a Twitch raid, which is where you go and visit other channels and trying to bring attention to them, and in return, hopefully they bring attention to you and you grow each other's content. Every week I've tried to shout out a member of the VTuber community. This week I'm going to do Bricky. Bricky has recently gotten himself, strangely enough, mentioned in some conversations in my end of the world, which was unusual. I've only seen Bricky show up in the last couple weeks. He's both a FaceTuber and a VTuber. So he does both live play where you actually see his face, and he has a VTuber avatar. He's got 1,066K followers. He does a lot of stuff on his own, does a lot of Warhammer, does a lot of, pubs, first player shoot 'em ups. He does Helldivers. He does all sorts of stuff, Trouble in Terrorist Town. And he's a Warhammer dude. He's a Warhammer dude. And he got called out for being a very woke Warhammer dude in some of the Warhammer videos that I occasionally watch. So it was really weird that I was watching this guy and they were talking about Warhammer and they mentioned Bricky. And apparently they mentioned Bricky and considered, at least in that end of the world, not very popular. And I was like, I think you're just jealous. I think you're just jealous that he gets to hang out with VSojo and you don't, huh? Because he plays Warhammer. And he plays Warhammer on Twitter and Twitch. And he brings attention to Warhammer. And he's got convincing women to play Warhammer. So I think he's awesome. And he hangs out with some of my favorite virtual people. And as you know, I'm a huge fan of a lot of the VTubers. Not all of them, but most of them seem like really cool people. I'd hang out with Iron Mouse. So yeah, shout out to Bricky. He's on Twitter. He's on Twitch. He's on VShojo. He plays first-person shooter type games and Lethal Company and cooperative shooter type games. Definitely seems like a cool dude. And he gets to hang out with, VTubers. So double cool. And he hasn't been doing this very long, but he's already hit 1,666K followers. So if you're a Twitter person, and check out Bricky. And just because the fact that certain people in my end of the community don't like him gives me all the more reason to want to support him, because usually the people who don't like him are the people in my community that I don't like. So yeah, there we go. That is this week's VTubers and YouTubers and tabletop role-playing game YouTubers. We've got Tales from the Glass Guarded World. I love that title. It just sounds so evocative, and it's an interesting take. I don't know if I have ever seen City Trapped in a Bottle done as a gaming setting before, which you would think somebody would have done by now, right? I mean, Brainiac, City in a Bottle. We've got Tabletop Junkie, who does a lot of great stuff. We've got Cooperative Waffle, who visits my channel all the time, so shout out to them. And we've got Bricky, who is a VTuber and a YouTuber and a Warhammer dude. And of course, the highlight of my week, again, was getting to hang out. Well, hang out with the Soska twins. Huge fan of their work. Definitely cool women. So yeah, check them out. Each and every one of these channels. They all deserve at least a look. And maybe if you like them, you'll give them a subscribe, help them grow their YouTube tabletop role-playing game identity. And in return, because we are, selfish, maybe they'll come over here. I mean, how cool would that be if Tabletop Junkie came over and visited, or the Soska twins, or Bricky? I want to grow my channel. I want to reach out to as many people as possible. I want to be a positive, or at least as positive as I can, bit of light in the growing darkness that is the tabletop role-playing game controversy, community. It's weird that, people I respected a year ago, now I want to have nothing to do with. But yeah. It's just the tabletop role-playing community has changed a lot in the last year, in the last 5 years, and sadly not in a good way. So if I could do something nice every Saturday, makes it all worth it. The good you do might come back to you. I mean, we jokingly say I want them to come to my channels, but I really don't care if they do or not. If tomorrow's the last day I ever do YouTube, I don't care, but I'd like to leave the place a little bit nicer than what it has been. So hopefully this is a way to spread a little positivity and a little kindness and a little fun and a little silliness into the tabletop role-playing game community on a gloomy Saturday. If you appreciate me doing this every Saturday, let me know. If you never want to see me do this ever again, also let me know. Remember, this is your guys' channel. I'm here for you. If you don't want to see me do something anymore, this is where you go, hey, never do this again. Till next time, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button so you're always aware of what's going on with the OGGM. Check out my merch, finally on drive-thru. Very excited about that. And have a great day. Drive careful because it looks like it's going to rain, even though it's spring. And of course, get off my land. Da, 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 da. The